I'm not a big fan of Toxic Deluge. Costs you so much life against Boros. Okay, mulligan the 6-lander into a no-lander. Lutri! That's kidding, obviously. Put back the Dismember, and then I think I put back the one I can, or the one I don't get 2 modes for. Gab, thanks for the raid. We're 7-3 on the day with Lutri. We just lost playing for a trophy. Now we're running it back here. Mull to 5 against the Sewers. No, we didn't 5-0. We lost to game 3 against Boros. It was a close one. We drew the Pyroclasm like 1 turn too late, I think. Maybe we would have lost them. Gab with the 64 months. Thank you so much, my friend. Hat trophy with John Living In. Yeah, the Living In builds are looking good. Okay, Mill versus Lutri. I don't have Delirium now. Maybe my opponent will help me. They do. Let me play a little bit of a dance. I took the trophy had I known I'd scooped. Well, I wouldn't want you to do that, so I'm glad you didn't. But GG's. Is the first time I've trophied since Tommy was released. Yeah, I haven't Lutri post MH3, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we are good against their surgical extractions. We do have a pretty aggressive elements. I don't think we're gonna be too bad against Mill. Lose focus is staple in Lutri. I like it more than Logic Knot. I guess I don't know why it's good specifically in Lutri compared to Knot, but Knot has been really good, and I think Knot is like uncuttable. I think you could play both, but I don't think you could really make a good argument for not playing. I don't think you could make a good argument for not playing. Sorry, this is my train of thought. Not playing ironically, I'm losing focus. I don't think you can make a good argument for not including Logic Knot in your build. Have I seen? Is it Sai? No, Sai's the Master Thopterus. What is he doing on Edge of Eternities? Oh, this card. Yeah, I have seen this card. I thought it was like the actual character. This card seems potentially very interesting. So like, how hard is it? So if you play this, you play Mox Opal, you play Mox Amber. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you need to cast this plus 3 0 drops if you want to cap a Cannoneer. So land this. 3 0 drops Cannoneer is 6 out of your 7 cards, or 8 cards if you're on the draw. Yeah, I do think that card's good. New set is just so full of stuff. Funny enough, Surgical would actually prove pretty good this game. Yeah, it taps 2, so only need 2 zeros. Well, no, because it's the 2 zeros, the 2 1-1s. So that's 5. You need 6 for Kappa Cannoneer, don't you? Again, it's been a little while since kindergarten, but I think that's true. Okay, I guess I milled all my shock lands, or someone milled all my shock lands. I just always keep every card on top when I play against Mill. And you need a blue mana 6 mana. Well, I was counting Mox Opal, so you have to have Mox Opal, I guess, if it's for 2-1. Yeah, so yeah, I'm counting like you play a land, and then this is for the turn 1. If it's turn 2, then it's you only need 2 zeros, which is relevant. That's obviously still really good. All right, down to 26 cards, and I've lost. All right, we gotta get busy killing them. So my Cecil's gone. My Ragavan's gone. I still have 1 DRC, 1 Goyf. Goyf is bigger, so let's leave black mana up. We also have discard spells, I think. I guess just Inquisition. I guess not rewarded because we would have had those. We drew the swamp. No, I only keep a blue for charm. Well, I wanted to cast the Cecil because we need pressure really badly. I was also thinking Pinnacle Emissary doesn't have much upside versus Third Path Iconoclast. I guess I strongly disagree just because like it's 1 mana, so it lets you. It also counts on any artifact card, right? Maybe because if it's artifacts, then you can cast Ornithopters and Midnights to turn 1, a Kappa Cannoneer, and of course the big thing too is that it lets you cap a Cannoneer really quickly on turn 1 or turn 2, which Iconoclast doesn't do. And you also just cast it. It's a 3/3 Iconoclast later. It's not like you don't get to cast it for a good amount of value too. So I mill the Goyf, which is nice. Although they might have a surgical or something. They're kind of acting like they have something. Gonna draw step the surgical. Okay, so I can play this Goyf and hold up the Logic Knot. I'll do this before the surgical is back online. So we'll exile a land, a Tamio, is there any worse? I guess this is worse. So it's a 6/7 Goyf. I have 8 cards in my deck. If I hit them for 1, this turned out to 15. I guess it's just kind of clean if I okay, they're paying costs. Maybe if you're that all in, you run both Emissary and Third Path. Yeah, maybe Third Path Iconoclast is like kind of good, and people don't really play it. Okay, so they exile their own card with the Cling. Okay, so down to 15, then 7 down to... Yeah, I think I leave the Terminate in my hand, because it would be nice to let a Crab resolve and keep the Logic Knot. Because we could just let a Crab resolve. Although Crab Fetchland's kind of scary, we still have the ability to terminate in response to the fetch. I love Third Path, but I'm Cube Brain Beyond Repair. I mean, it's maybe good. It's like a lot better than Young Pyromancer with Mox Opal in the format. If they Visions, remember the Frog Exile, yeah. Alright, so they Fatal Push the Goyf. We have to counter this. Shout out Logic Knot. Or sorry, shout out Lose Focus. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If they drown, I'll regret. I guess I could have made this bigger to play around drown. Huh? This is mana value 6. Although I could play around drown pretty comfy. I don't have Counterspell. I don't have Archmage's Charm anymore, right? Wait, where's my Archmage's Charm? I had it in my hand. Out there it is. I don't know what they're thinking about so much with only 3 cards in their hand. Hopefully it's not a 3-mana mill spell while I'm tapped out. If they have Drown, they just kill the Goyf and you'll see you and kill your giant grave. Yeah, okay. Good choice on the cast of Fractured Sanity there. The new stations, Riptide Well might shine, is a lot of power for crewing. Yeah, that's a good point. And the proliferate is relevant, although not super big to like proliferate 1 at a time on those cards. Type is good against the fields. It's good against the crabs. Seems like it gets in there. Don't think I want the Spell Bomb. Is any card bad? Scour's kind of bad. Kind of want to bring in the Ashiok. The Edict seems better than Terminate. I agree with that. I might just bring in the Edict and be 62. So I have 1, 2, 7, 8 removal spells for Crab. It's a little high, but I kind of like being at least 62 against them. Bauble worth it for Archive Traps? I guess so. I guess it is. We can cut. Mill vs. Lutri. Welcome to Modern. The Mill Cabal has been highly successful convincing modern players not to go over 60 post-board. I usually go between 60 and 63 post-board. I feel pretty good about it. I've been doing it for a long time. It depends. Like if I'm like playing like an 18 land aggro deck, I don't. But and I try not. If I don't have any cards that are good, like I don't have any dead cards ever if I can help it. What a main phase of the search to like getting Archive Trapped. The 2/2 Crab, I guess. Yeah, let's be mana efficient here. Old school mill sideboard, throw the whole thing in there. 74 card spells. Yeah, people always say this, and it's so funny, but it's like, well, you can do that. You could also have like 10 like fire magics and and break the ices and just cards that are super duper dead, which I never add. I've been playing against Mill more lately. Obviously, I don't love letting them on top of the Crab, but I think I just want to be a little bit more mana efficient than killing a Crab this turn. I think I'm going to target my own graveyard here. It's a bit better against like visions and stuff, and they have the lantern anyway. It's not like they're gonna pop the lantern for this, and if they do, it's... Mill is the new burn after Quage got printed. Pretty based. Alright, so 2 for 1 with the Trespasser. They discard another crab. Do they have a land? Probably not if they're discarding the crab. I guess I'll Preordain. Nice. So I don't want any fetch lands if I can help it. Yeah, they have 3 spells. This Thought Seize will be good. Also, technically help us flip the Cecil, I guess. A 4th crab, and then they top deck the fetch land. And then one of their cards was a Fatal Push, and then their last card might be Archive Trap. I'm not drawing the Thought Seize anymore. Tamiyo would be a fun top deck. Just kill both of these probably. Wait, they just main phase exile my graveyard? Okay. Would you Drown in the Lock in your deck? Okay, there's the Tamiyo. So let's go hand, bottom, exile. We could Lutri, but if we had one more mana, maybe we could top deck a land and then set up for Lutri plus Flame. Some dreams that cannot be, I guess. When does Edge of Eternities come out? It comes out on the exactly 2 weeks from today. Is that right? I do think their last card could really easily be an Archive Trap, so I don't want to crack the fetch unless I can play around it. Maybe it's fine if I get to Lutri. It also just might not be. Yeah, for some they always like squish the Somersets together in a way that I don't love. I would usually prefer for it's not. I would usually prefer for the sets to be more evenly distributed, but at the very least, like Final Fantasy wasn't a huge deal for Modern, so I'm definitely down to have a very high impact Modern set about to come out. Like Edge seems like just a huge deal for Modern. They're kind of pausing like their last card is a Surgical. I don't know why they would have Surgical in against me post board since I'm a Lutri deck and all. Well, they have Surgical in against me. Do I want to copy it? Yeah, I guess so. So let's go Surgical targeting Fractured Sanity. I'm going to target the Drowns also. I'm going to target the pushes. They probably have more pushes than Drowns. So their hand is a Surgical Extraction like we thought. Which means that if I minus the Tamiyo, I make them pay 2 life and I counter the Surgical. Very funny that they have all these Surgical... someone commented that Surgical Extraction would be bad against me today. They did not know how right they'd be, I guess. Or maybe they did. It is relevant here. Maybe it's not that bad, but it's probably not that good either. All right, so we got 5 points of damage in play. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to crack this fetch. If we get Tasha's, we get Tasha's. wonder if they're going to cut the Surgicals post-board, being like, oh, duh, all one-ofs. So Steel Cutter gives me 7 points of power, with if nothing else. Oh, shoot. Mislethal. I could have equipped to the Goyf, duh. Lutri really works the cube portion of your brain. Okay, sorry about that. They top deck Tasha's and I can't tank it, which I don't know if I can or not. Good beats. I think I saw the Lrien Revealed in the deck, though. No, it was gone. The Murktide and the Lrien were gone, so I probably would have been dead, but they didn't have it, and we're going to game 3 against Mill. They have the lanterns. The K commands do get better, or the K command does get better. Single. Yeah, I think on the draw being 63 is fine. Also, I am losing with Mill. Is there an easier deck I could win with? The easiest deck in the format has a winning record. I mean, it's a good deck to like grind and kind of build up a bankroll with. But it is like the easiest deck, I think, and the safest. That's true. Yeah, K command also could be an out to bridge, which they did take their time to sideboard, so they might be boarding out their surgicals for this. It is very funny, and we got the surgical them too, which is also kind of funny. Is subtlety good? 4 mana value for Tasha's. Put a crab off. I think like subtletying a crab isn't a good line, but sometimes it's okay. Would Ashiok shutting off their fetches make sense? Yeah, you could play Ashiok. Sometimes you do build them out too. Like if you like Ragavan them and get them, that matters. I think more though for decks that play 4 Ragavans, of course. Strip Mine will not be restricted in Timeless. That is a choice. Any card on top here, although sad to see Spell Pierce go. Is Mill? No, Mill's not the easiest deck to play. Boros is the easiest deck to play. Boros is surprisingly difficult. It feels like the sequencing is super easy, but when you play, there's so many lines to think through. Okay, so what deck is easier than Boros? And I don't think you can say Burn, because Burn is not like a deck in the metagame. Like what deck in the modern metagame is easier to play than Boros? There might be one, but that's the question I would like to have answered. Living End? I think 0 chance. Living End is like, if you ever watch Gab play Living End, it's just the most complicated deck ever. OG Tron. That's just not a deck in the metagame. So I would put Domain Zoo as harder than Boros, but you could have a conversation about it. Yeah, I would put Living End and Zoo above Boros. But yeah, you could disagree. Obviously, it's kind of, people struggle with different decks too. Yeah, I think Ghost says it well here. Playing any deck is hard. Like, just because Boros is the easiest doesn't mean it's easy to play Boros. Modern is a complicated and difficult format. I agree with that. Boggle seems mind-numbing. Yeah, but it's also just not a meta deck. Boggle is just completely unplayable. I was hoping they'd cycle the 2-mana card, not Cling to Dusting. Eldrazi. You could make an argument that Eldrazi is easier than Boros. I think you could even make a good argument. All right, let's greed a little bit. They did have the Drown. Boros is really simple till you play the Mirror. Mirror has a ton of minor decisions, good gameplay. Yeah, I think every deck in Modern is difficult. I do agree with that. I think the Mirror is complicated. I do agree. But I also think Domain Zoo is like insanely tough. Has tougher sequencing, tougher mulligan decisions than Boros. I think Living End is like amongst the most complicated decks. Like I think there's many decks less complicated than Living End. There's a reason why like only like the really like there's a reason why the thinking, very slow, very calculated players always do so well with Living End. It's that it's a super complicated deck. This card, I don't want to play into trap here. I do want to draw that. And I even can dodge Drown here, right? I'm going to exile the Cling. Just want to make an 8/8 and kill them with it next turn. Well, I guess I turned off Delirium, but that's okay. So they're paying costs. They cycle in response. And Drown now available again, although they have already used 2 Drowns. Kind of unlucky not to get Delirium back, maybe, although maybe that's my own doing. Delirium no longer matters. I think Belcher's among hardest decks. Maybe. I feel like Belcher is like... I think Blue Belcher is really not that complicated. It like really rewards you for like kind of normal... Oh, come on. The third. It rewards you for like really normal sequencing, I think. Like really normal, like what do I play around? I have a 4-mana combo card. Do I tap out for it? Do I not? I think I play Ragavan and then put Lutri in my hand here. See if they have more removal. Yeah, not that it's easy, and not that this conversation's that interesting. All right, let's keep going. Right, they did have another push, or maybe they just drew it. I guess they probably just drew it, because why would they not cast it end of turn? All right, you've seen Bolt, Snap, Bolt. Get ready for Bolt. Lutri Bolt. Shoal's hard to play with. Yeah, it's not that it's not hard, but I think like a lot of difficulty in Modern can come from things being weird and different from other formats, and Blue Belcher I think rewards you a lot from just kind of understanding how to play around things and when to go for stuff. Again, not that it's easy. They have 3 cards in their hand still. I'm down to 29 cards in my deck. Don't love how long they're thinking here. Hoping they're thinking about a surgical extraction, I guess. You know, if they have a Tasha's, we can force the Tasha's and heat this and keep going. They are paying costs of visions. So I don't have my Cling to Dust in the yard anymore. I hate how long they're tanking on these decisions. It's pretty scary. But I don't think I can let them draw 3. Feels like they had Tasha's and Visions, right? Yeah, our opponent left in 4 surgicals last game. Okay, so I think it's better to play the 4/5 Goyf this turn. Leave up Terminate. So lands, creature probably that, instant. Oh, I only have the 1 enchantment, so it becomes a 3/4, but they might mill me and make it bigger. Also just getting it in play before graveyard. My Murktide's gone, my Lrien Revealed's gone, so Tasha's is pretty scary. They have 2 cards. I have 28 cards in my deck. Do you think there's a way to build Adnaz? We had a couple of Mox Opal Adnaz decks that you can take a look at. You stand while I play. Sometimes I like to stand a little bit while I stream and make sure I'm not just sitting 4 hours straight. I did go for a swim this morning, so it's dying for activity, but I like to stand. We as Magic players can always stand to be a little bit more active anyways. Okay, I don't have a sorcery in my deck. I'm going to try to... Okay, so this is 12, then Bolt / Bolt down to... Yeah, so I think I don't copy the Preordain. And if this makes them pop the Lantern, that's obviously fine. I think we keep the Iteration. Yeah, this was the first time. So, you know, I've been jogging for the first time, just really trying to get like high intensity cardio in my routine for the first time since I've been active again. And today was the first time I tried like swimming. Oh, they didn't cling to dust. Nice. It was the first time I tried swimming as an exercise, and it was brutal. But it felt really good. I'm trying to. I've been having a hard time like riding like the last like 5 days. I've done a little bit, but I've just been so tired from the high intensity cardio in my routine that I'm just trying to. I'm seeing if working out before the stream is gonna make it easier for my like brain to recuperate. So I got them down to 6, maybe down to 3. The Lutri connects. They have the Cling to Dust, which is a little bit bad. Okay, they have remembered their Cling now. All right, so they're targeting my Oculus. So they're going to go up to 9, then down to 6. We draw a Logic Knot, which is obviously a huge deal. Yeah, let's just escape the Goyf and then hold up the Knot, I think. This does incentivize them to crack the Lantern for my yard, which is bad with the Knot, I guess. I think I'm still doing this. I don't know. It's so tough for them to X-out Knot. Yeah, I'm not taking creatine. It makes me feel really weird. I'm drinking a lot of protein shakes. That might be helpful though. Thank you, Reaper, for the 61 months. Hope you're doing well. Marathoner here. New cardio takes about 2 weeks of suck before your body normalizes. It's okay. Yeah, I know it's been a long time since I've done this. I'm like 8 days in. I've done it 7 out of the 8 days. My opponent says GG's, but they aren't dead on board. So, is this the offensive GG's? And how could they be so confident they can mill me here? I guess not. What is their last card? It must be Surgical Extraction, right? I feel like we're going to lose. No, we lost game 3 against Boros. Mulligan again on the draw, and my GG's are not sending. I'm definitely typing enter. Oh, the message is from 30 minutes ago. I just saw it. That's funny. Oh, that's not even this opponent. Okay, so let's... I think we just attack and we save the iteration for post Lantern being cracked maybe, and we maybe get to crack this to deal 4 this turn. Yeah, so they pop this, and then I sack here, hit them for 4 down to 5. And then I think we just hold up the full value Logic Knot. What's your philosophy sideboard on the topic of using slots to make a bad matchup less bad versus slots to make good matchups even better? Well, of course, it just needs to improve your overall win percentage in theory. In practice, it can be it can be more emotional than that. Like you just like really hate a matchup and you really want to be good against it. Actually, wait, I'll just let this resolve, right? Yeah, I just let this resolve, and so I don't lose to Tasha's. You just have to calculate how many percentage points you think you're getting and like what percentage of the matchups the metagame is. Yeah, then this makes my Goyf gigantic. Yeah. Just save the Logic Knot for the Tashas. Long match against Mill. And they top deck a Field of Ruin. They do have this Cling to Dust, which I could just counter and win. So we 3-2'd our first league, we 4-1'd our second, and now we've won here, so we're 8-3 on the day. All right. Yeah, 8-3 with Lutri today. Okay, on the draw, both keeping 7. Hate drawing the 6th land. Might be okay against Island to go, I guess. Island Swamp. And a Frog. What's this deck versus any plan that makes Construct seems weak versus artifacts? I mean, we've got Flame, we have a K command, we've got Meltdown in the sideboard. You could play other cards that are good against it too. There's plenty of options that exist if you're worried about it. I guess I should have played this so I could have got Swamp against Harbinger. You could play Dress Down, you know, you could play Brotherhood End if you're really worried about it, but I feel like main deck Hate Command, main deck Flame, Sideboard Meltdown is okay. So they don't have another land, it's interesting. I crack a clue. I draw a spell. Okay, back to lands. So let's attack with the Tamiyo. If my opponent wants to discard 2 cards, I can consider, and then if I don't find Terminate Push, I can crack the clue to flip the Tamiyo. They're not interested in going for that. Let's see if we can find relevant spell. Not what I would call a relevant spell. Interesting. I think that they probably will choose to not... Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have just paid 4. If I just paid 4, they're like way less likely to discard. Okay, they force pitch Jace, so it's Goryo's again. Goryo's been very popular too. So they played their own Tamiyo. Just gonna get buried. All right, I think I'm just gonna go to game 2 here with me having drawn 9 lands. All right, we're gonna bring in Spellbomb, Cage, Dispute. Don't like Ashiok against them. Sudden Edict I do think is one of your better removal spells. They are playing Tamiyo. It's not something you play in all of the builds, but I think we have enough other answers to Tamiyo. I'm going to cut the Kolaghan's Command. I'm going to cut the Unearth. Unearth honestly hasn't been very good today. Although we have been playing against a lot of like great exile-based removal decks. A lot of Goryos. What's the other cut? Could be FOMO. Could be Flame of Anor. You'll cut the Flame. They don't usually play Bowmaster and Goryos. I don't know that I've ever seen it. Like maybe someone sometime has played it, but it's really rare. No, you want to leave and Terminate against the Tamiyo Emperor of Bones Frog deck. Jace, Friend's Prodigy also. I don't know how to articulate this, but this does feel like the appropriate art counterspell to play for Lutri. I don't know what I'm saying by that. It just feels right. Yeah, I guess the Goryo's gamers are just on Jace, which is something I don't really understand still, but maybe I don't need to understand it. It's a fun card, you know. If Modern's a place where Jace Friend's Prodigy seeing play, and you can be 8-3 with Grixis Lutri, maybe it's not so bad, huh? Big uptick in black-white. I like when that deck's popular. It's for looting. Yeah, the Jace is for looting. It's just kind of tough to untap with is the issue with it. Another thing that Jace does, though, is you can Goryos it, and you can flip it with if you Goryos it. So that's kind of one reason it's not so bad if it dies. The thing is, it's like, I would rather play Indulgence, Emperor, and Psychic Frog, obviously, as 2-drops. So, I just don't know how you also have room for Jaces. So I miss my land. Can I afford to Iteration here? I'm not gonna get Goryos, so I think I'm down to iterate and hit a land for sure. You know, kind of classic. Draw 9 lands and to only see 2. You gotta believe sometimes. Okay, that's fine, I guess. There's no Solitude or Ephemerate. I guess there's room then, huh? They play the Mortuary so they could hardcast Sin Spara. Like Graveyard of Frog. Then they find a Fatal Push for my Tamiyo. So nice little 3-for-1 on the Tamiyo if you count this clue token. That's a good draw. Let's be disciplined and just pass, I guess. Seems not that likely they have another Frog in their hand. Seems like they're probably maybe missing some lands. Okay, they main phase Tainted Indulgence. It's really bad for me if this resolves and they just have Goryo's, because then I don't really have a window to fight over it. If that makes sense. And I think I'm actually just going to use the Counterspell because I've got the Goyf in hand. Does that make sense? Like if they just like discard Atraxa, play a land, pass, and I don't use the Counterspell, I lose. So, or maybe lose is not as accurate as I'm in really bad shape. Do you have an opinion with Steph Curry kills Steel Cutter in red-black deck? Do you think it's better without? So I think the deck is better without Steel Cutter. I had Steel Cutter in my first draft of the Rakdos Cecil deck, and then I ended up moving into the build I've been playing. Kind of feels like they're. If I tap the clue, I'm going to get Goryo's. Although if they just Goryo's Atraxa right now. In their instep, like they get the trigger, but then I just push the frog, and then they get like 3 cards, and that's like they spin 2 cards, get 3 to 5. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. It is bad if they have Sin Spara, maybe. Okay, that worked out. I guess I attack first. What was I saying? So the thing about Steel Cutter and Red Black is that your Steel Cutters are worse than any other Steel Cutters that exist. Like, if you play against an opponent who has a Cori-Steel Cutter in their deck, their Steel Cutter is better every single time, and that's something I really dislike about playing it in the Rakdos build. Beyond that, I think the FOMO Phoenix gives you like is more aggressive than Steel Cutter even. It gives you faster kills, which you want. So that they are gonna Goryo's here. No, they're gonna Indulgence. Don't think I'd counter this. It is just a draw 2. They don't get a discard. And it's hard to tell if that's good or bad. They play a Ghost Vacuum. It does shrink my Goyf. Hard to feel like we want to counter this, though. I have not seen the new Black Legendary, no. I do think they have Goryo's in their hand. How do we play around that the best? Yeah, I think we just attack and pass. I'm looking at this hand. I'm like, how is opponent play all these? So I'm starting to believe. Yeah, it's impossible to play around Lutri decks. This is a genuine like upside to the archetype. That's, maybe not something that's super obvious. All right, we want our pressure in play still. I think we can cast this Graveyard Trespasser with clean up and then force on their turn. So the last 2 cards are Force of Negation, blue card. We get kind of got. Okay, we get kind of got. They get a Psychic Frog and some lands. So not really that big a deal, honestly. Not good for me, though. What did they pitch? They pitched another Sinspara. I think I'm taking that same line every single time. You know what I mean? This Ghost Vacuum is getting a little scary. They main phase exile Channeler. I hope they don't play a spell so I can exile 2 things. Okay, I'm going to need to not let that resolve. So do I play Goyf and Terminate, or do I hold up Snare? I think the ability for me to flip the Trespasser is pretty nice. But also, I mean, Snare is really, really good against... Yeah, I don't think we can tap out of Snare this game. Don't want to get Force of Negation. I think we go if they need Discard Outlet and Fatty. Well, they have Discard Outlet in play, so they lost cards of Fatty, but they also could just have another Frog, or they could have another Strategic Betrayal. They discard Looting, and then they did not... Oh, I gave them Revolt. Damn. What do we draw? We also have Lutri. I think I need to play the Goyf. 1, 2. Oh, I can't Goyf because I only have... I couldn't Goyf anyways because I am missing a type. I have 4 types, so one of them is the Goyf itself. So are we going to lose to Ghost Vacuum on a Tamio, a Channeler, and a Trespasser? Probably if they just have the land. They do keep a card on top, which I think they want to land pretty bad. Hopefully it's like a Psychic Frog. Seems unlikely. Oh, it is a spell. So they kept a card on top and then they flashed back Looting. If it was a big creature, they would have just wanted to put it in the graveyard. It looks like I do still have my blue-red Surveil land in the deck. Okay, so they get to Ghost Vacuum up the Frog. Yeah, I think I boarded out the K-Command, actually. I think I boarded out K-Command and Flame of Anor. Alright, I don't think Cecil's it here. I don't know what is it, but I think it's something that we can copy with the Lutri. Or Murktide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If only I could copy Murktide. Oh. Did I misclick? I guess I did it one too many. Although if they hit this, then yeah, okay, they do hit the land. Cool game. Yeah, I guess Archmage's Charm, but that was the best draw. So they get their Tamio, which is a 1. Wait, they all have flying. Oh, why does they all have flying? Stupid Ghost Vacuum. And Cecil has Death Touch. Good play, good play. Yeah, I should have exiled the Cecil. Kind of hard to see, I guess. So Bowmaster can kill Cecil. I could also... What happens if the Graveyard Glutton tries to transform? Because this is a token. So I think what happens if it tries to transform is that it just tries to incant and doesn't like get exiled or anything. Wait, they will transform? Wait, oh yeah, Ghost... Sorry, I always think Ghost Vacuum makes them tokens. Okay, so do I want to use my Lutri to transform this? If I do, then they can't go to 8, which is really important. Or they can't go to 9. They can only go to 8. So I do think I just cast Lutri. The tokens do have backside. Okay. Modern gamer doesn't know about Ghost Vacuum, I guess. Also, I guess the Lutri blocks the Trespasser kind of correctly. So we... Oh, it has flying. Okay, we got flying again. Down to 8. They're leaving the Tamio back to block the Murktide. They top decking for turn. Somehow winnable. We draw a Psychic Frog, which I guess growing this to 9/9 is relevant for next turn. It doesn't seem very relevant right now. Yeah, I think if you were to play one more piece of Graveyard Hate, which seems like it could be good because there's so much Gorios, I think that piece would be Ghost Vacuum. It is night again, huh? Shout out Kid Cudi. Been listening to a lot of Kid Cudi lately. If you're shifting Woodland to Trespasser when it's night, does the Woodland transform? Does the Woodland become the flip version? I think it should. That's a good question. Probably will come up on the stream one day. All right, we won. Murktide's been good today. So I think I want Flame of Anor. Got the FOMO. Do I want a second answer to Ghost Vacuum? I guess I have the Archmage's Charm too. It's just like if K-Command could kill Tomio, I would definitely bring it in. Okay, we also have Needle. Oh wait, do we cut the Needle? Wait, where is my Needle? I thought we cut Rough Tumble for Tidebinder. Shouldn't I still have a Needle in the sideboard? Did we make another change? It's awkward because oh, did we add like another piece of Graveyard Hate or something? Oh, we had this. Oh, we added the Sun and an Edict. That's right. Okay. All right, let's just get in there. All right, this hand could be anything. Let's keep. Cecil's like an okay draw. Am I okay with okay? I think we could do better. I'll qualify that as better. Lutri and the Sakami were, yeah, we're 8-3. Tech's been going well. Obviously a little scared of a frog. I'll Spell Pierce the Tainted Indulgence if they have it. If they Force of Negation, we can't Spell Pierce. But with our hand, we're pretty good against Gorios. We're kind of okay if they do. If they Indulgence, I think I'm still just going to Pierce with the Indulgence in the turn. And if they force that and then Gorios me, then good shit. So they have 4 cards in their hand after they draw, plus looting in the graveyard. We've got Cling to Dust to answer a future Gorios. Here's looting. They kind of have to have Sin, Spara, plus Atraxa, plus Gorios. They discard Gorios and they discard Flame of Anor. Hard to complain about that. Feeling good. I cast Preordain. I'm going to bottom both of these. Then main phase Surveil. So we're a little flooded. That's what Lutri's for, I guess. Keep that Nile Spellbomb on top. Good chance we're going to go Lutri in hand. Maybe I cling this end of turn. I do have Delirium. If I was going to cling, I should have done it in response to the frog, though. So let's just untap. And then let's go main phase Heat, which dies immediately. And pass back. 3 cards in their hand. All of them spells. Probably at least one of them is Gorios. I think it's kind of hard for one of them to not be a Gorios. They don't flashback looting. Bathrobe King, thank you for the 39 months, my lord. Looks like I thought scoured over my Undercity Sewers. Maybe the hardcast Force of Negation does. Okay, not a bad draw. I think we just cast it instead of trying to Lutri it. So hand, bottom, exile, just Lutri, I think. No, this isn't the trophy match. We 3-2'd our first league into 4-1. Now we're 1-0 in game 3, so 8-3 on the day. All right, they keep a card on top. Have an answer to a creature, have an answer to graveyard stuff. That was on the list of things I can deal with. I'm going to kill this while they're tapped out of blue, I think, and I guess we'll play Cori-Steel Cutter also. get a force blue card. Wouldn't it be the end of the world? Next turn I might just cling to Dust and Lutri and then trigger the Steel Cutter. They also haven't been flashing back the other looting. Like, what is in their hand that they're not interested in doing? They've got to stop on my draw step here. That's a little weird. Sticking to the plan. So let's exile two of our 3 lands, exile the Spell Pierce, exile the Scour, exile the Preordain. They're probably just holding it as a discard outlet. I feel like if you have nothing going on, I mean, it's kind of hard to imagine what their hand is that they're not casting the looting and they're not playing anything proactively. Like, they could have Dispute, they could have Push. They almost definitely have a Goryo's in their hand. Maybe they have hardcast Force of Negation for the Cling, which would be, you know, not ideal, but we still get the Monk token and we get the Force out of their hand. We get the Lutri. We did play against the Mill player who left in 4 Surgicals against us, funny enough. Okay, so it is Force, which means I don't get my Lutri copy. I do get to attack for 4, putting them down to 9, and then I have 6 power in play. Okay. So the last card is probably Goryo's, and then they're drawing another. It doesn't have to be Goryo's, but they did just loot one away, and they don't usually do that super aggressively. Be nice to draw a spell. We've been a little flooded this game. All right, I think I'm supposed to pop this. Out of Surveil lands. So if they attack with the Frog, I can block with the Monk token and then kill them. If their last card is a Goryo's, they draw a big fatty, that's a problem. They crack the fetch looking for a Surveil land because their last card is Goryo's, I think. We'll see if we get super punished for the Spellbomb play. I think it was right with how flooded we are. They're not immediately putting an Atraxa in the graveyard, which is good news. They put Emperor of Bones in the yard. Definitely one you want to think about there. They're not dead on board because they can fly the Frog and then block the Channeler. They decide to attack, so if their last card is the Goryo's, it almost definitely is the way they main phase fetched and surveilled. Now they're dead. Oh, I guess they're dead anyways because of the trample and because they cracked the fetch. I thought they were still at 5. All right, we're 9-3 with Lutri. Let's keep it going. Cecil into Frog. Let's go. So 3-mana Black Legend. Zoo-Ifit. Return a creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. It's a skeleton in addition to its level types. Activate only as a sorcery. It's up against black-white again. There's a lot of cards like this that tap to reanimate something. They don't usually make the cut. They're usually kind of interesting. This one's no exception. So I guess I should have attacked first. Yeah, there's some Cauldron shenanigans going on with this. This card would be significantly better if it was 2 generic, 1 black. This way you could go looting or FOMO into just haste it and reanimate something. Although maybe we should be looking into that, regardless. So they find a Solitude off the Recruiter. Yeah. Wait, it has no abilities? Oh, well, okay. Let's forget that card exists. Can't blink him easy, but much more like what are we talking about? Just let's play a reanimation spell that's more efficient and doesn't require you to also ephemerate him. Let's play Emperor of Bones, I don't know. Flagging this one for awesome art. Yeah, I mean, this card is kind of interesting with Catcher Bows. I do think the art looks nice. I agree. They took the K command. 4 cards in their hand. We got Spell Snare in our deck. Okay, I don't think I could say no to to a castable 2-drop right now. That kills this Recruiter of the Guard, although Ephemerate's a little bit scary. Maybe I could. Maybe there was a way to say no to this. Show me how to say no to this. Oh, they have the Ephemerate. Cauldron this dude in Death Shadows. So they grab another Solitude. They just throw it out there. So they got no cards in their hand, but they have Ephemerate coming off the rebound. And they've got Emperor of Bones for this. Let's go to game 2. If I had graveyarded the Bowmaster, I would have drawn this Delta, and then I still would have lost, I think. So, is what it is. We added this to Shauna's Tidebinder and the Sudden Edict, so it should be marginally better this time, this matchup. I think against the Imperial Recruiter build also, I'm kind of interested in playing the Fire Magic. It's pretty minor. I'm interested in keeping the Ragavan on the play, may reassess on the draw. I think I'm going to cut the Thirst. I don't think I did that last time, but I think it's right. I want to cut the Force of Negation. I want to cut the Spell Pierce. And then is there anything else? Oh, I want the Subtlety. And I guess I want the Consign also. I need to make 2 more cuts. I think we cut the Unearth, and then maybe the Nether Goyf. Yeah, I think Goyf is bad against Black-White. I love sideboarding with this deck. This is kind of the opposite of the Karuga deck, the mono green one we played yesterday, where you're just a Karn deck, so you don't sideboard. This is like the most thinking sideboarding you could probably do in Modern. Ragavan seems sneaky. No, they just don't play that much removal. They don't always play Bowmaster. Like Ragavan is like, I think against this build at least, definitely something you want on the play. You can reassess on the draw, but their deck's just kind of slow. I like Ragavan against them. I think it's at least better than Nether Goyf against all the graveyard hate. Although, I guess they're playing Recruiter, so maybe they don't have the graveyard hate. So main phase push. Been liking the Verges, playing 2 Verges. I know this is kind of minor compared to everything else that's going on, but they've been playing pretty well. It could be right to have a 3rd copy, maybe. So I put it main phases, Solitude, pitching Felia, and do they have a land to play? They do have a land to play. Hopefully they don't crack at main phase. Let's go. Recruiter can search up Trawler. What are we talking about? Sideboard cards, baby. I kind of want to set up to Lutri this stock up. It's a little silly. Let's go 2 for 1 on the Solitude, 2 for 1 on the Tidebinder. They play an untapped Witch Enchanter land. Well, I'd love to draw both of these. I guess I can, but I can't cast them both this turn. But I want to be able to Sudden Edict Ophelia. Maybe I don't want Sudden Edict against the Recruiter build, but I do want them against the Ketravos build, which doesn't seem like they are. The overall record needs to be a Lutri cast counter. It should be higher. Okay, I'm okay with them blocking if they want to block. Because then I'm just... Wait, can I... Oh, dude, the split second Lutri is a nombo. You can't Lutri. You can't Lutri Sudden Edict. But I do want to set up for Lutri stock up, so I think I'm gonna put Lutri in hand here. You can always let them untap when you have Sudden Edict. Make them make the first move here. I'm probably going to board out the Edict for game 3, though. Alright, please, Lutri stock up, please. They pick up a Solitude. Can I ever say no to freaking Graveyard Trespasser here? I don't think I can. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna crack a clue and then cast the Trespasser. Still have plenty of time to. Trespasser Exiling Wisp also makes Overlord way worse too. See if we would have been able to Lutri stock up. Okay, we would not have been able to. Ragavan bad on turn 6 after they've cast Recruiter, it seems. Alright, so the hand is Solitude, Mystery card, and then a card they draw for turn. If they have an untapped land, if they want to Solitude my Graveyard Trespasser, it costs them their entire hand, although they can also just Solitude my Tamio and then try to block, but if they want to do that, they have to do this main phase, otherwise it flips, and I think I'm speaking out loud at exactly the speed of their thought process, and and that's what happens. I don't know if I'm going to want to make this trade. I might. I know what I want to do now. So to format with Atraxa we're trying to get a 3-mana Divination 4/6. I'd play Warp 2, call a day. I mean, we're 9-3 with this deck. Companions are broken. You know, it's... for like 3 years or however long Companions have been out, 4 years, people have been like, an 8-mana 5/5, that's banned in Modern. You have to play 80 cards for a 5-mana 4/5. What? You know, it's like, it's just, people are always going on about how like, I don't know, Companions are broken. What are we talking about? It's like FOMO Heat here, I think. Companions are broken. Look at this. All right, I think we take Cori-Steel Cutter. You know, how dare you rain on my parade while I'm Lutriing stock up? How dare you? Well, they don't block. They have Ephemerate. Kinda. You know, what other stream would you go into besides this one where I'm Lutriing stock up and Chatter's like, I can't believe you're doing this. It's what have I cultivated here? How can I get out of this? Listen, I go to Magic Cons and I watch them play their Commander games on the big screen. And when I watch them play these Commander games, anytime any single person casts any card, anytime any person casts any card, everyone in the audience cheers. No matter what the situation is, no matter who's casting it, no matter what they're casting. Wait, they blocked with Solitude, not Wisp? Anytime any person casts any card, everyone cheers. You know, I can't even get a cheer for a Lutri stock up. They're attacking? What did they draw? 5-drop? Thank you, Jacob, for the 4 years of cheering, huh? I'm just teasing, of course. So if they attacked, I think they probably drew Solitude. Oh, it's Bowmaster. So they are going to get to kill my... Oh, they're not, because this is going to be... They're both going to be 2/2s, right? The Prowess will resolve before the Cling. Yeah, I'm just bantering. I'm not really... I'm just trying to be silly. I don't really care. All right, let's Unholy Heat. Just a bit of banter. If I draw a red source, I might have lethal if I haste the FOMO. Or maybe if I just like terminate this. Although, like, you know, they have no cards in their hand. I've got a Logic Knot. That's also lethal. It's in the game. All right, game 3 on the draw against Black White. Let's cut the Sudden Edict because they're Recruiter, not Ketramos. That's something I should have missed. We added the Sudden Edict to try to help deal with Ketramos a little bit. And because they're Ketramos instead, we'll play the Goyf. Or so because they're not Ketramos and they don't have the Graveyard Hate, we'll play the Goyf. I feel like if we terminate blocker Thoughtseizes, then we have lethal. So the thing is, it's like if you just have a hard counter and they have no cards in their hand, that's also lethal. So you don't have to think too hard. Like there's no uncounterable card they play. They're like you just stop whatever they draw and you kill them next turn. So wouldn't sweat it too much. Nice to have Thoughtseize counterspell against the deck with no 1-drops. I guess they got their own Thoughtseize. I was just thinking about drawing Archmage's Charm. Okay, well, their hand does nothing, so I'll take this. Hopefully they don't draw an Overlord. Those are not play. Yeah, they do play Thoughtseize, but they don't play 1-mana threats, is what I meant by 1-drops, but not what I said. I do think you probably have to keep this on 6 on the play. Maybe not. Maybe you just see this hand like, well, this hand probably loses. They play Arid Mesa after a lot of thinking. I guess they're thinking... How much do I care about showing my opponent that I drew a land versus getting to Surveil? And then they decided I care more about getting to Surveil, which I think is the right choice. They keep a card on top. Oh, we're holding up Archmage. Maybe. Okay, I guess I'm playing Tamiyo. And being a little annoyed about it. Definitely okay if they tap out for Wrath Disguise. Although would I counter Wrath? I don't think so. So he has Ephemerate Wrath, 2 mystery cards. Invert Polarity goes so hard. Resist dear Twitch chatters! Resist the urge to play mediocre Grixis cards in your Lutri deck. There just are enough good ones that you don't have to play any of the mediocre ones. You can do it. No Invert Polarity. No Kaalia. Or not Kaalia. What's the Grixis 4-mana legend? Yeah, just gonna graveyard that. We don't like stealing Emrakul chat. We don't like... What's the matter? You don't like stealing 13 mana spells? You know what? I take it all back, baby. Okay, it's a little weird. What I'm going to do is, I'm just going to Lutri in hand. This could be blue card for subtlety this game. But I kind of want to play the FOMO and... Oh, I should have left up Terminate, though. I kind of want to play the FOMO and the Murktide in the same turn. So a little awkward I didn't leave up the Counterspell. I think I'll just fire it off. Should leave up the Terminate. Although the thing is, if I terminate this, they get to Ephemerate to save it. It's maybe not that big a deal. So now I don't have the Counterspell to hold up anymore, so we just discard the Delta. Okay, so gonna have to think about this one a little bit. So I'm gonna exile 1, 2 lands, and then I can exile these 4 instants and sorceries. Still have Delirium for the FOMO. And I think even though like it's kind of sad to lose. Oh, I guess I miscounted by 1. I wish it off Charm instead. I guess it's kind of sad to lose some instants for Snapcaster. Counterspell is still a good one, but I think Cling is going to be the best one to leave in. Okay, so they evoke Solitude, pitch Ephemerate. What I don't like about subtletying this is that if they just have a land, they could, if their hand is land Ephemerate, which it could be, they just put it on top and then they hardcast it. So I think I just let this exile the Murktide, and then when they go to cast their other Ephemerate, which I'm presuming they have, I'll Dismember. Just playing around Dismember is the only thing that kills this here. It's so hard for them to play around that. And then I just keep my FOMO, which is getting in for 4, and I keep my Lutri, I keep my Subtlety. So if they had if their last card was another Ephemerate, that also would have been fine, I think. Yeah, so they have no... That is kind of the best draw, huh? Alright, I think I gotta Subtlety that. Just because like them getting the Emperor Bones back this turn is such a pain when I can't snare it. The last card is also a spell, because they would have hardcast this. So I could maybe... Okay, what could their last card be that's a spell that isn't removal? I guess we'll just see if it's Fatal Push, that's good, because they'll push this before damage happens. And then we'll get to Draw Step, the K command, get rid of their thing. Felia? Could be Felia. Okay, that's great news. I'm going to set a Draw Step stop here. We know their top card is Overlord of the Baelmerk. I'm pretty close to locked into Lutri for the challenge on Friday. So you discard a card, I return a Subtlety. You concede the game, maybe? Feels pretty good. I think we have some lag here. I'm not going to click OK. Yeah, I had VV'd. I'm like, I just don't have Mox Amber. I don't have Mox. So I have only 1 Bauble. Felt like VV was kind of bad. I didn't test it. Maybe it's okay. Hard to test in the deck. You can though. Yeah, we have a Snapcaster. Snapcaster's been good. I'd keep playing the Snapcaster. I guess if I cling this, I go down off of Delirium. I guess that's okay too. I think getting a card here is really valuable. So I have 8 cards in my yard. I can leave Cling plus 2 others. So K command and Tomio for Unearth, I think. Oh, I think I boarded out the Unearth. Okay, they have a Felia, so we'll probably just end up dismembering that now. Usually you want to use your removal kind of aggressively when you have Cling, and we also, of course, have the Subtlety. Although, probably a good turn to tap out for this. I guess we Guess we don't fetch first. So we have Delirium. We can actually FOMO this Ragavan. It's kind of fun. How Cecil felt. Cecil is like a modern staple. We've played a lot of Cecil in a lot of other decks. It's definitely it's a big part of the reason why you can play this. It's funny to say that because it's a one of, right? But playing Cecil means all of a sudden you have Ragavan, Tomio, Nethergoyf, and DRC. So you have 5 1-mana threats, which is really important to have that density. It is funny. It is funny that just Cecil is a big deal, but getting that extra 1-mana creature is nice. All right. Yes, please to Emperor of Bones. Okay, so this is our third Lutri League. All 3 times we've been 3-0. We've 3-2 the first league, we 4-1 the second. Let's get our third trophy prediction of the day as we advance to 10-4. Do you have any builds for Zerda? We've trophied with Zerda back when it first came out, but I don't think Zerda's very good. So on the draw against Domain Zoo. Summon Verheerder to start the combo, give Sanctum Weaver haste. Okay, giving Sanctum Weaver haste is genuinely interesting. Okay, I think I lead on the Channeler so I can have a blocker for the Ragavan. Yeah, if you could play Urza Saga, Zerda would be way better. So they don't have a land and a Leyline Scion. Or sorry, and a Scion of Draco. They might not have a land at all. You keep a lot of 1-land, Leyline Scion, Ragavan hands. Oh. Well, we do lose. I don't know why they didn't play that pre-combat, but we do lose. And if you can play Saga, I don't know if that's true, but maybe. Well, that was a fast one. Let's bring in the Sudden Edict. Let's bring in the Consign. So Tidebinder is good against Kavu. It just kills Kavu. It stops Leyline Binding. It's kind of slow. I think I want the Subtlety. I want the Nile Spellbomb since they're a Flage deck. I did win this matchup in my off-stream testing. I can't remember if I won game 1 or not. I'm going to cut the Force of Negation. I think I cut the Spell Pierce. I'm not sure, though. I think I waffled on that yesterday, I remember. So I cut the Bowmaster. I think I cut FOMO. I think I do like Ragavan against them. Unearth is bad against Kavu. Yeah, but it's good against Flames. Bowmaster versus Ragavan. On the draw, it's tough. But yeah, I guess they are. It also is okay against Kavu. I'm going to cut the Charm and the stock up, I think. On the play for game 2 against Domain. I think I'm... Okay, well now I'm interested in finding an answer to Scion. So we have Consign, Sudden Edict, Counterspell, Logic Knot, Thoughtseize. Subtlety doesn't really count. I might be missing like one, but let's cast the Preordain and see if there's something that could deal with a Scion. A lot we have. I mean, the Edict we can draw whenever. I think I'm just gonna graveyard both or bottom both of these though. Okay, we found Subtlety. I think they're just a bit too likely to have a 2-drop, or if they have Kavu and they have Scion, there's a lot of times you just cast Kavu first to try to get the counterspell out of the hand. So I think tapping out of Snare is going to be a mistake. Is Lutri worth being a singleton deck for the one-time copy? So to determine the answer to that question, you need to find out, is there a card in our deck that or like a 3-drop that's less value than Lutri? The answer is no, but if you were interested in that, you would have to find a 3-drop that Lutri is better than, and I don't think that there is one. That's kind of the case with the companions. They're all overcosted, but they're free cards, and that's why they're broken. I think I graveyard that. So I could tap out for Snap, Preordain. I think instead I'm gonna hold up K command / Snap Snare. And then if I do Subtlety the Scion, I can K-Command back the Scion. How am I feeling about Ransom? I think the card's worse than the other 3-drops we have, but it might be okay. I mean, I think I need to be mana efficient, but I don't think this Clarion Conqueror does a lot against me. They do put it on the bottom. So I have 3 cards, I gotta discard one of them, and I get the Subtlety back. So 2 for 1, and the 2 in their favor, into my favor, so kind of a wash. They discard Lightning Bolt. I draw the answer that we were looking for. I think I can play the Spell Bomb. You know, it would be nice to maybe save it as a Steel Cutter trigger, but I'm kind of interested in spinning my wheels a little bit, getting some more lands in play. My question was not about finding better 3-drops, as in, wouldn't you rather be like Grixis Tempo, Grixis Shadow with 4 copies of your better cards? Sorry if this comes up. Yeah, I guess I misunderstood the question. I mean, obviously you can play Grixis Tempo, you can play Grixis whatever. Like these are decks that exist. These are decks that you can find. There are genuine advantages to Lutri. Companions are broken, especially ones that can generate card advantage. Your deck is hard to play against. And when you can build the deck like this where your card quality is high, like I am genuinely really interested in building the deck like this. I do think that this build is competitive. I think it's powerful. It's been performing really well today. You would have to play a lot of this deck, and you would have to play a lot of... okay, well, I'm not going to subtlety that with I have Spellbomb in play. You'd have to play a lot of this deck and a lot of regular Frog, and you'd have to be like a Grixis or Dimir specialist to, like, I think, really know the answer to that question. And I'm someone who plays a lot, so I can't tell you for sure 100% that this is better than playing like Grixis Frog or Grixis Shadow. But I can tell you that there's a lot of advantages to playing this build. And the advantages have been, I think, kind of clear on today's stream. So yeah, it's definitely a good question. I think I just misunderstood the time. Okay, so they got 2 cards in their hand. They know I have this Subtlety. I don't have anything to Unearth at the moment. Might just cycle at end of turn. Might want to cut the Unearth for Emperor Bones. It just hasn't really been doing much this stream. I don't think they have the Scion. Yeah, but just every card in our deck is good, and I'm really liking how the deck's playing. All right, so they got 2 cards in their hands. Let's cycle. I really am tempted to go Steel Cutter, Graveyard Trespasser, hold up Heat, but I think I just want to hold up the Hardcast Subtlety. They put a Leyline of the Guild Pact. I'll Subtlety anything, also. Okay, not that. But I will tap out for the Trespasser down. I might, if I draw a land, we could put Lutri in our hand as a blue pitch. Or we could just say, I don't think you have Scion. And if you do, I have 1 out. I don't know if I love that. I think I'm going to put Lutri in my hand. Let me know if this is what you would do. I don't think they've just been sandbagging Scion this whole time. But the thing is, if they do have Scion, this is better. And if they don't have Scion, we're really ahead. So I think that that's probably just good enough for me, right? I did not consider Sauron's Ransom. Someone else just brought it up. Let me know which 3-drop you think it's better than, if you think it's better than one of them. Okay, nice. So they have 1 card in their hand. Could be a Flames. So we might just die to the burn out of nowhere. Flames is definitely possible. Or we don't want to play the Steel Cutter without having the extra spell to play. Could run out Lutri for pressure. If we no, the thing is, it's not a one outer anymore. It's not a one outer anymore. Do I want to copy the Thoughtseize? I don't think so. And I bolt. Because if we subtlety the Lutri, then we can draw a counterspell that deals with it. So you have another binding. I think their last card is either a Leyline to the Guild Pact, which you only have one of, a Tribal Flames, or a land. So we might die to another top deck Flames. But I think this is going to get to take a Flames. It's a bolt? It's a binding, okay. So I was wrong. I guess. Doesn't feel too bad. But Ransom plays a Charm. Charm has been really good all day. We've stolen multiple times. The counters, like, we need a density of counter spells too, and so -1 counter spell is tough. Okay, we don't have. There are no creatures in graveyards. I guess if they did draw Flames, we could evoke Subtlety and then Cling to Dust it. Yeah, maybe it could be better than Stock Up. I could buy that. Uh-oh, there it is. We did give them infinite time, huh? Alright, I think I am going to cycle the Cling now instead of trying to Lutri. We have other things we can Lutri. Huh. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't think you would ever play a creature land over just another Surveil land. So I could go Heat, copy Heat, kill my own Cecil, and have 2 extra cards in the graveyard to Oculus. The thing is, if I draw a fetch land, I can still Oculus, so let's just see what we draw. Not a fetch land. I'm not playing Sync. You can play Sync. We're Grixis mana, so those are pretty painful. And could copy Heat to kill Lutri and Cecil. I don't have Delirium, so the problem is that doesn't kill Cecil. Can we get him a Cecil? Here's first strike on the side. Is this my worst matchup? I don't know. Maybe like I think we're good against the deck minus Leyline Scion, and then we could maybe play like 1 or 2 more answers. All right, so let's buy some time with this Oculus. Could Adjust Down be good? Yeah, of course. You could have Adjust Down in the 75. Probably our worst use of Lutri. So dead to Flames, dead to 4th Leyline Binding, dead to... Or Territorial Kavu is probably going to beat me. That, but... Oh, I guess I am dead to that, actually. Because I have to chump block. Alright, Leyline Scion tough. 10-4. Still great record. Pretty locked on having... I'm playing this deck at the challenge on Friday. I think I'm going to stop there so I can eat some lunch, though. Okay, yeah, kind of locked on this for the challenge. Really excited for it. Look great. I think I'm going to cut the Unearth for an Emperor of Bones. But I'm gonna sleep on it a little bit. Maybe make like 2 more changes. Maybe have like 1 more answer to Scion. Maybe play like a Ghost Vacuum in the sideboard. Like genuinely interested in tuning the list. Let me raid Ollie today. Yeah, I think the Oculus also didn't seem to perform very well.